Hey curl friends, it's me, Naturally Sage. Welcome back to my channel. If y'all are new here, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any natural hair content. Today's video is going to be all about my natural hair journey. I've been getting a lot of questions lately about how long I've been natural and how I became natural and why I decided to go natural. The purpose of this video is really for you guys to get to know me and kind of understand where I came from and how my hair got to be the way that it is today, because I'm always getting questions on how I take care of my hair, when I went natural and how long I've been natural, why I went natural and all that kinds of stuff. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to kind of address some of those questions and take you guys along my natural hair journey. So let's get into it. I'm gonna go ahead and back up a little bit and move to my left so I can insert some pictures and some videos here so y'all can actually see the actual journey unfold. So I have split my journey up into a couple different phases because that's how I like to think about things, in different phases, and kind of compartmentalize them like that. So the first phase is pretty much all of the time until I decided to go natural and some of those events that kind of led up to that point. So from a very young age, I knew that I was different from my family and from the kids at school and from the kids who lived around me, the kids I played sport with. I always looked different and I always felt different and I didn't understand why. So just a small detail about me. Might be too much information, but here we go. My mom is white and my dad is black, and I grew up with my mother in the suburbs. This is just a really weird thing to talk about because a lot of people make it seem like it wasn't a big deal for a long time that I didn't know my dad and that everyone that I was surrounded by was white. But as I grew up, I started to realize like it really did have a big impact on me and my well-being as a person, and my perception of myself and all those kinds of things. So everyone that I looked up to within the community, I had a couple teachers that I really liked. Some of my aunts were really great, and I loved my mom so much, and I love my cousins, and the people that I saw and the people that I loved, the people that I looked up to were white. And so I naturally, like any other 10, 11-year-old, just wanted to look like those people. Like, how do I get hair like that? How do I get skin like that? Like, is there something wrong with me? Is my skin dirty? Like, what is it that I did to deserve to be so different and to be looked at everywhere I go? It was just a thing that I wasn't really ready for, and then I didn't really have those conversations with the people around me because they didn't really understand what I was going through either. So while my mom and my aunt made great attempts to try and talk to me about, you know, who I was and what that meant in the world, I didn't fully understand for a really long time. So it was really tough. I spent a long time not liking my skin and not liking my hair and just wanting to fit in with my family and with the kids at school. And you guys know, like, middle school ain't no joke. When you're in middle school, the kids just look for other kids that don't look like them or that don't act like them or that don't have things like them, and they pick on them. Like, I just remember these little comments and these little things being said about my hair and about me. And I finally was like, after I think it was 2 full years of asking my mom for a relaxer, or asking her, actually, you know what? Sorry, it was not 2 years of asking for a relaxer, because at that point I didn't even know what a relaxer was. I was just begging my mom to get my hair like my friends in some way, which was, at that time, it was like the 2000s, so it was bone straight. That was the style. And up until then, my mom had done her research and she was like, you know what? I don't think that it's safe to do these kinds of treatments on your hair because your hair is not fully matured, and I just don't think it's a good idea. I don't really know enough to do something like that or to take you to the salon. So for 2 years after us kind of going back and forth with that, and then me finally in 2007, I'll never forget this moment. In 2007, Princess Diaries came out. And in Princess Diaries, they had you take this, you take this, and they opened up the thing, and she had straight hair, and I was like, okay, that must mean that it is possible. I know it might sound crazy to somebody watching this, but I didn't know at the age of 12 that it was possible to take your hair from one thing and change it to another thing. I just didn't know that that was a thing yet, because my family didn't want me to know, because they loved my hair the way it was and they wanted me to love it the way it was, but it just didn't matter because the representation that I was seeing throughout my life and within movies and magazines and TV shows didn't represent me, so I didn't want to be me. Aw. That's really sad. But after that movie, when I realized it was possible, my mom and I started having real conversations about it, and I really encouraged her to let me do it. I really wanted to do something different with my hair. Finally, when I was about 13, she took me up to the JCPenney, booked me with one of the stylists, and I got my first relaxer. I'll never forget that feeling. My hair up until that point had been a situation that no one knew how to deal with. Everyone wanted to help me have healthy hair and beautiful hair, but no one really knew how to deal with it or how to style it. And so I felt like I was always being left with these styles that I didn't like and that I didn't see anyone else wearing, which was a big thing for me. Unfortunately, as a 13-year-old, I was very interested in whatever everyone else was doing. I really wanted to fit in really, really badly. So the fact that no one else had hair like mine or was doing styles like mine made me feel like I didn't want to do it at all. I didn't want to be the trendsetter. I was not ready for that type of responsibility. But so she turns me around in the chair, you guys. And I turn and I just start crying. I had never seen myself with straight hair before. I had never even imagined what it would look like. And my hair was so much longer than I thought to. It was like down to here. And I thought my hair was like up to here because it was curly. And I didn't understand the idea of shrinkage yet. So it was seriously a moment. It was like a moment of excitement and then a moment of fear. Like, oh my God, all the kids at school are gonna know what I did. They're gonna know I did something different. Like, are they gonna like it? Are they not gonna like it? And when I got to school, everyone ended up liking it, which proved to me that I was right in my assumption that if I had straight hair, people would think that I was more beautiful. And I had proved myself right. I got more attention from boys and more girls wanted to be my friend. So I felt like it had worked because that was ultimately the goal. Let me see if I can find like an old picture of middle school me and insert it right here. Cause she was cute, she was a cutie. She didn't know she was cute, but she was. That kind of wraps up the whole first phase. The next phase was the relaxer phase. After I got that first relaxer, it was like that creamy crack had taken over. My stylist told me that I needed one every 6 to 8 weeks, and so I got one every 6 to 8 weeks for what would be the next 10 years of my life. Every single 6 to 8 weeks, I would find time to make it back to the suburb that I grew up in and get my hair relaxed for 3 to 4 hours and pay about $120. I will never forget that smell of burnt hair. That is a pungent smell. Even when I moved a state away for college, I still made it home every 8 weeks to get that hair relaxer. And I started after about year 7, I really felt like this was taking control of my life. And I know that sounds really dramatic, but in order for me to feel beautiful, I had to make sure that I did this thing every 2 months. I had to drive 6 hours and go to the salon and spend this money and spend the entire day there because I wanted to look the way other people saw me as beautiful, because I wanted to get the attention that the straight hair got me. And it's really sad when you think about it. No, you know what? It isn't sad. It's something that I went through and something that helped shape me who I was. But just looking back, it doesn't feel like I loved myself, and that's why it feels sad. It feels like I did it for somebody else when I didn't need to do all that to be beautiful. I already was just the way I was. So in about year 7 or 8, I started to really feel like I was just tired of making time to go to the salon. I really wanted to just be able to care for my hair myself. I was learning how to do my own acrylics at the time, and I wanted to do my own skincare. I wanted to be able to just be a self-sufficient person and do everything on my own. So throughout my years in college, my hair kind of looked like this. Yes. I cheered in college for 1 year, don't judge me. I look back on some of these old pictures and I feel for that girl. That girl was trying so hard to gain the acceptance of other people when she was getting jobs, when she was going to school, when she was in sports. And I also just look back and think, dang, I would have looked so much better with curly hair in that photo. That outfit would have looked so much better with this fro. But I know that if I didn't feel that way in those times, I wouldn't be able to embrace my hair for what it is now. And I think that's another reason why I want to do this video, is because I really just want to encourage people to love their hair as it grows. Because let me tell you something, there is nothing wrong with a full lace wig. There is nothing wrong with a good protective style. And there is nothing wrong with not wanting to even show your natural hair. I just think that I want people to love their hair as it is. That's why I'm sitting here today with no product in my hair, no manipulation, no nothing. This is how my hair looks. This is it. It's not perfect, and nobody is. I wish I could tell younger me so many things that I know now, but since I can't, I'm hoping that I can reach other young girls who look like me and who need somebody to look up to, because I just want to be that person that I didn't have, somebody that people can look at and be like, oh, that girl looks like me, she has hair like me, like I can do that. Like, I really wish I could look back on old pictures where I was in sports, and in track I wore my hair down a lot, but my hair was relaxed, so it wasn't like that big of a deal. When I look back at it, I'm like, can you imagine a black girl in the state running the anchor of the 4x1 like this? Like, I wish I had that moment to be that person. So now moving forward, I'm always going to do my best to be that person, to share love and light, and hopefully inspire other people to love their natural hair. Okay, sidebar over, I'm sorry. I just always want to try and sprinkle a little bit of self-love in each video, because I just think it's so important, and it helps so much when you're working with your natural hair to just accept things the way they are, and then you can strive to make things better. Phase 2 ended with me quietly wondering to myself, is this the reason why my hair isn't growing? Am I doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing to my hair? Because my hair, at first, you know, I said it was down to here. And then just slowly, it just kind of crept up and crept up and crept up until I was at shoulder length hair. And I was wearing clip-in extensions. I was doing just all this stuff to my hair that I kept wondering, like, is there a reason why my hair isn't growing? Because my hair wasn't healthy, so I felt like there was no way I was gonna achieve that. So the next thing was length. I really wanted long hair. I wanted my hair to be long for so long. Oh my gosh. And on top of that, the relaxer didn't even look that smooth for that long. I didn't really understand the whole idea of wrapping my hair at night either, so that probably didn't help. But my edges were acting up constantly, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just see what I'm working with. I was in my junior year of college, and I finally started thinking, like, I wonder what my hair actually looks like. I haven't seen it for so long. I've only seen like a couple, you know, like the roots would start looking like this when it was time to get a relaxer. So I never really knew what my hair looked like. So I just started wondering, like, wonder what my hair looks like. I looked up a couple natural hair videos on YouTube, and I started to quickly realize that it was gonna take a lot of work and a lot of dedication and a lot of patience, which at that time, honestly, I didn't love myself to have. So I just decided not to do it, and I waited another two years until I graduated school. When I got to the winter of 2016, I decided that I was just gonna let my hair grow out, and I was just gonna see what was under it, because I was graduating in May of 2017 and I wouldn't have school anymore, so I'd have time to do my hair. So I stopped getting relaxers, and my hair started to look a little bit like this in July of 2017. Up until that point, I was kind of just wearing my hair in this like low ponytail, or I had a run-in with Bantu knots one time. It didn't go so well. I wasn't really deep conditioning or doing any twist outs or any of that kind of stuff yet. I hadn't learned what that whole deal was. I was just about halfway through growing my hair out. That's when I found my first job out of college. It was like November of 2017, and it was downtown in Chicago. I was so excited. I was like, yes, city girl! You know I'm a city girl. You know I'm a city girl. Ooh, ooh. I'm gonna post some of mine. As I'm talking, I'm just gonna like put a couple looks that I have from that job. Boom! Bam! Okay, I need to relax, sorry. But I really did love that job, and I loved the idea of being downtown and dressing up for work, but I hated the idea of my hair. My hair was struggling, okay? I was trying to use the Main Choice, and I was trying to use As I Am and Shea Moisture at the time. Those are like my top 3 products, and I was doing these little mini wash and goes that I didn't know were wash and goes, and I started dabbling a little bit with deep conditioning, and I started learning more about my hair. That winter, in December of 2017, I discovered Miss Shelly's Curls. Now, if you guys watch my videos, you know I've mentioned her a couple times, and I love Shelly's Curls. She was my greatest inspiration when I first started going natural. It was between her and Jasmine. I love Jasmine too. But Shelly's Curls really gave me a good base and foundation for which my natural hair was going to start growing off of. She taught me what a wash and go was, and that really started to change the game for me. At first, when my hair was growing out, I was frustrated all the time. I just felt like my hair was not supposed to look the way that it was looking. But when I was watching videos, everyone kept telling me to stick it out. So I just kept sticking it out. I had no idea what I was doing. Nothing looked the way that I wanted to. And that winter was the first time I started to kind of understand, like, okay, so you can put 3 products on your hair and dry it, and then you can go somewhere. Like, before that, I know it sounds crazy, but I just didn't know how to take care of my hair because no one had taught me, and no one knew even around me to teach me, because I didn't know any black women. Okay, we gotta rewind just like a second. In October 2017, that was the first time that I cut my ends of my relaxer off. Picture for y'all. That was the first time that I felt confident in my hair, just a little bit. maybe I can do this. Maybe this is gonna work for me. You know? Like I was like, I wonder what it's gonna look like when it gets a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, and then what? I started to finally have a little bit of fun with my hair, and I started doing braid outs. I started to learn more about products. I started watching Natural Hair 85. Love her videos. She taught me a lot about my natural hair, specifically how simple it really can be, because up until that point I felt really overwhelmed with all the information. I felt like I was alone in figuring out how to take care of my hair after all these years of not knowing how to do it, and all these years of not really even liking it to begin with. I don't know if I've messed up and blurred together some of the phases, because I've been filming for a little bit now. The fourth phase is where I really started to develop my natural hair routine. I realized how important wash day was, and how wash day was gonna have to be a thing that was gonna be scheduled. Like it was gonna take me more than just getting in the shower and getting out of the shower. I started learning more about clarifying my hair and deep conditioning my hair and the different types of conditioners. When you're at the store trying to buy all those products, like I was so confused looking at like cleansing conditioner, cleaning conditioner, deep conditioner, leave-in conditioner. What are all these things supposed to do? I don't understand. So basically what I did was I had a mini notebook, and I would watch videos, and I would just take notes on the notebook. One side was product used, and the other side was steps in which those products were used. And that was the whole thing. That's how I learned how to take care of my natural hair. I watched videos, I looked up blogs, I spent a long amount of time just thinking about my hair, thinking about what it needed, being aware of my hair, feeling my hair, looking at it, like what is a normal state that my hair should be in. I also started to mess around with wigs a little bit. Hope you guys can have a little laugh at that situation. I thought I looked fly. I was walking around the city. It was my birthday weekend. I was ready to go. That was just a time for me to experiment with my natural hair and experiment with the things that I could actually do with my hair at that time. I had gotten box braids for the first time, which was really fun. It was just a time where I was trying to figure out what to do with my hair, how I was gonna do it, and how I was gonna make it look presentable and professional. Because at that time, my family wasn't fully accepting of me going back natural, and they can say what they want. They might think that they were accepting, but the constant jokes and the constant ridicule when I tried new hairstyles, it was never anything positive. The first time they saw me, it was always something negative. It was always something to make me feel bad about the way that I looked. So I was still battling a lot with the length of my hair, how it looked on me, and what my face looked like. Just a side thing that you guys don't know about me, but one of my insecurities has always been the shape of my face. There was a time in college where I had gained just like a little bit of weight. When I say a little bit of weight, I mean like 50 pounds, but who's counting? And the shape of my face changed. I looked like a completely different person, and ever since then I've just been very cognizant of the shape of my face and what that looks like. So when I was growing my hair out, it was like I kept looking at the way that my face looked with my hair and the shape of my hair and the way that it was framing my face. I still wasn't fully aware of why I didn't like my hair in the first place and why I didn't like my skin in the first place. So that made it hard to fully comprehend, like, how do I move forward from this? Like, do I have to learn how to wear wigs because I don't like my hair? Or what is going on here? So the last phase, I think, I'm sorry if I lost you here, or if I lost it myself, but I think I'm in phase 5, and the last phase was me fully realizing that my feelings about my hair didn't have to do with what my hair actually looked like. It was where I actually came from. and the things that I saw growing up and the things that people told me were beautiful, and not about how I actually looked. Once I realized that, it was over. It was over for you bitches, I swear. Because I realized that it didn't have to do with what other people thought of me. If I didn't get a job because my hair looked a certain way, then I didn't want that job to begin with. And it kind of just started like this whole movement for me of like, if what I am and who I am isn't good enough in this moment for you, then I don't need it. I don't need to beg for anybody's job, anybody's attention, or anybody's loyalty for that matter, because I finally saw myself as a good enough person as an individual. Like, I finally realized that I didn't need anybody else, anything else, or no material thing that was gonna make me happy. It's like I was the only thing that I needed. I was the only thing that was gonna make me happy and provide myself with stability. And so I had the only opinion about myself that mattered. It sounds so simple, and I wish I would have known at some point that I could have been so simple to just start thinking that, or just start knowing that I was the shit. But it's not an easy thing, and it takes a lot of time to accept yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, inside, outside, all that kind of stuff. So if you're watching this and you're also struggling with your natural hair journey, just know that it gets better. And just know that it might not be all about the way that your hair actually looks. It's sometimes about like the way you feel inside about yourself. I know that might sound away, but as long as you're doing what makes you happy for you, that's all that matters. Whatever that means for you, and as long as that's not hurting anybody else's well-being, and that's like a level of peace that in order to understand, you have to trust yourself, you have to believe in yourself in order to have that kind of confidence and to understand that you're the shit. I want to be there for somebody who needs somebody that looks like them, because I didn't have that, and so I hope that I can give that to somebody else. Just know that you are enough the way that you are. Part of that is from learning how to take care of my hair and understanding how important it was to keep my hair nice and healthy. But the other part was that self-love part. I started to accept my hair for the way that it looked without product. Like, this is what my hair is. I just started to make less time for negativity and the comments about my hair, because those comments were starting to affect the way that I saw my hair, or they already had affected the way that I saw my hair. So I just stopped listening to them. And with those two things combined, it really helped me love my hair, which helped me love myself. Like, I truly feel like I can say that today, right now, that I love myself. And that's not a thing that I could probably say at this time last year, or the year before that, or the year before that. I hope you guys feel like you got to know me a little bit more and that you understand my natural hair journey, because I really had a nice time sharing it with you. Honestly, it's been some time since I have talked about my natural hair journey and kind of gone over the years and gone over these pictures. So I had a really fun time making this video for you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm Naturally Sage. You know it.